Welcome to this edition of BDS Productions produces and shares gladly with you. We are Branson and we miss you. My name's Doug Thompson. I'm the host. My special guest today, Doug Gabriel. And Doug, I'm in Kansas right now at our studio, and you're in Branson. How are you getting along?
We're doing good. I tell you, it's been a hard time on everybody. Obviously, we're missing the fans and missing doing our show, but we're doing everything that our city officials are telling us to do and staying home and trying to make best use of our time right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you are, and I'm sure you're missing the shows because you're used to doing an early morning show. Is it 8 a.m.?
No, it's actually a 10 a.m. show.
10 a.m.
But
and then you're doing an evening show, too.
Right. I do all three time slots. I do the matinees at 2 and then a few selective evenings, but mostly mornings. And we've been doing our own show. I've been in Branson 36 years, but I've been doing my own show now 26 years. So we're like the fourth longest running show in town.
Oh, that's awesome. And that speaks volumes because that means people are coming to your shows. People love Branson. And it's exciting, I know, for you as a performer that you get to interact with the people you're performing in front of, and they get that same feeling with you because when we picked your song out of one of the shows that we did before on the BDS special, we specifically picked out yours because not only your very powerful voice and the good job that you did, but I could feel that sincerity towards the audience and the audience back to you. I'm sure you hear that a lot.
Well, I tell you, we do want our audiences to have a very personal experience with our show and all of us as a family. And so, yeah, we have connections all around the world of people that follow us and just have developed some amazing friendships over the years. We have met some of the nicest people through what we do, and we thank God for it. You know, we get to do what we absolutely love to do each and every day, and that's to sing and entertain people. And we don't take it for granted. We realize what a blessing it is from the Lord, and we try to use our show to affect people and to tell them about Jesus.
And that's awesome, Doug. And you know, as we're filming this today is Good Friday. And so, you know, at this particular time, we're shooting this in the morning right now. And you and I both know what Jesus was going through at this particular time in the morning on Good Friday. And for the price that he paid for all of us, to open that door for us to be in the kingdom. Absolutely amazing.
His grace, it blows your mind how much he loved the whole world. He loved the whole world. And he came to die on a cross to pay the price for all of our sins. And then victory came when he rose from the grave 3 days.
Yes, 3 days later. You're right. That's awesome. Well, Doug, I was looking at your bio a little bit before we started. You started singing at the age of 2?
That is correct. 2 or 3, right around in there. And I'll tell you a true story. What's ironic about my life is from that, when I was just a child, I knew that I was going to sing for a living, and I used to tell my mom and dad, I'd crawl up on my dad's lap and tell my dad that I was going to be a famous singer. Don't know if I'm too famous, but at least get to do it in Branson. But the Lord has allowed me to do that, and I used to take a jump rope, and I would climb up on my mom's coffee table, and she would play records, and I would get up on the coffee table and sing to her. She was my first audience, and still today is my biggest fan.
You would use that end of the rope where the wood is to sing?
Yeah. Yep.
Is that right? And the rest was the cord to the microphone, huh?
That was the microphone.
That's funny. That's funny.
And she played records of the people that are probably my biggest influences in music, Elvis being the first. He's my favorite singer. But she'd play Tom Jones, and she'd play a lot of different people. And that's how I think I developed my musical style, voice-wise, I think, because those people had such a big influence on me.
Who was it in your family that had that gift? Was it your dad? Was it your mom? Was it grandparents? Who had the gift of music that you had?
Both sides of my parents' family were involved in music. Mostly my mom's side, though. My mom's sister, Aunt Louise, is a professional singer, and her brother my Uncle Pete had a group in the 50s called the Neutrons. And then my dad, he had his sister was head of the Sweet Adelines. And so music came from both sides. And then my dad also helped manage me getting going. And so both my parents were very supportive as a young kid growing up.
So it wasn't a surprise to them when you got on the coffee table and started singing. They said, well, that's Uncle so-and-so, that's Grandpa this, or whatever it was. They just knew where it came from.
I think so. And they really got behind. At the time, it was my brother and I doing it. And we had a band years ago called the New Relations. And they really got behind the band. And that's where I got a lot of my experience of performing live. And then later on came to Branson. And so, yeah, everything it helped me every step of the way.
And by the time you were 12, you were a professional singer.
That's correct. I was very fortunate to do it. And I got to tell you, though, it wasn't easy. I used to practice 8 hours a day. I would learn all the different instruments by ear. But it takes dedication to do what any entertainer does. And you have to really work at your craft daily. And even now, to this day, I still get in there and I practice and do things to expand a little bit. Like this year, I'm going to give you an example. My dad, years ago, gave me this instrument. And I don't want to give it away because it's supposed to be a surprise in this year's show. But anyway, he gave me this instrument. It was sitting around the house for 30 years. And I decided to learn it. And I learned it authentically by a book. And I actually opened the show with it in Branson this year, playing this new instrument. And so it takes dedication and practice and that kind of thing. And I have nothing but the downtime. So I decided to learn this instrument.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Speaking of downtime, right now, of course, in Branson, this would normally be when the streets are absolutely packed. All of the shows are full. And now what's going on, of course, the people, because of the virus, the people aren't getting out of their houses. The entertainers have to be careful, so there are no shows. And right. I know from our connections with Branson, visiting with Nate Evans yesterday, and he was saying, Doug, we look out the window, and there's once in a while a car goes by, and before that it would be bumper to bumper. And this is I don't want to say harvest time, but this would be the busy time in Branson, right on up until the end of the year. And so correct. This is creating a lot of problems, and that's why we did the series of We Are Branson and We Miss You. And the We Miss You means the entertainers are missing you, Doug, and Doug, you're missing the entertainers because you have that connection with them. Yeah. And I know that they'll be happy to be able to listen to this, see this, and many of them have seen you in person, and they'll be looking forward to coming back to see you.
Right. It's not only missing the entertainers because we all, know each other and everything. You can't even see them, but it's missing those fans and the people that come to your show from all over the country. I mean, we get people from all over the United States, and obviously you would know that this has affected the motor coach industry big time. And so I feel for everybody that has lost the business as a result of this, and it's in God's hands. We have to trust Him every day, and looking forward to when this goes away to where we can get back on that stage again and see the people that follow us.
Oh, I know the people are anxious to have this behind us and then be able to get back and do some of the normal routines that they would this time of year. Does your family perform with you, Doug?
Every one of them does. Yes. I'll go through it a little bit. My wife, Cheryl, she sings and everything, also handles all the business side of things of our companies. And she does an excellent job. And this year she scheduled to sing a little bit of Little Big Town. And then our daughter, Jasmine, she sings in the show. We are doing a duet together that we all actually wrote together, a song called I Love You Too. And then our son Jordan, he won Comedian of the Year last year. So he's the reigning Comedian of the Year, very funny comedian. And he's in the show, Jordan. And Josh, our drummer, he's been voted best drummer 5 or 6 times in Branson, and he drums for us. And then in the band, we have Dino Strunk on lead guitar, Marty Wilhite on the bass, Will Clark on the piano, and then, of course, like I said, Josh on drums. And so, yeah, we've got a wonderful cast, and they're just the best ever. And this new show that we had prepared and are ready to do is really quite something. A lot of new stuff in the show that people haven't seen or heard me sing before, and so we're looking forward to it.
We're looking forward to seeing it. I know the fans are too. I've heard about Jordan. Was he kind of like you when you were the 2-year-old on the coffee table singing? Was he always the one that was the clown, the humorist, the gags and all those things? Was he funny when he was little?
Yeah, but to tell you the truth, that the thing about Jordan, which is ironic, is at a young age he had no really interest in show business, and then later on he started noticing, that the rest of the family was in there, and he said, "What can I do?" And so we tried him out at comedy, and he just kept building that, and now there's just none better. He is just amazing. The people love him, and his character name is the Flying J. We also call him Hershey because of that crazy hairdo he has. So
he's having a blast at it then, isn't he?
Oh yeah, we like to sometimes throw each other on stage, so it's all spur of the moment, And of course I'm his straight man, and so every now and then I try to get him and stuff. But he's so good at comebacks, so he's really good at what he does.
He even gets the family laughing because it's there's not a rehearsal for it when you're just ad-libbing and rolling with it. I'm guessing the family, while they're not necessarily trying to play, but while they're watching this, they're laughing just like the audience is because it's new to them.
That's correct. He's so quick on his feet, up there. And like when we get a guy up, from the audience, each person's different. So that makes the routine that we do together different every day. So you never know what you're going to get, on stage.
Well, Doug, you were mentioning that when you were growing up, you had some idols that you just sort of, oh man, I want to sing like that guy, or I like the way this person does that. Did you get to meet some of those idols as you move forward in your professional career?
Oh, I met a lot of them, and not only did I get to meet him, one of them was my partner, and I'm talking about the legend Roy Clark.
Oh yeah,
Roy and I were partners in Branson for many, many years. I had the honor of even speaking at his funeral, and he was just the best of the best. That man, greatest guitar player ever, and but he also played other things, banjo, fiddle, just an amazing entertainer. And we were friends for many, many years, and we did our shows together 4 years, and it was just a great time. We had a ball working together.
Yeah, I bet you did. Roy was a very good man, We did things with Lulu Roman, and I always enjoyed with her. She always spoke very, very highly of Roy. Yeah.
He's definitely missed, but he's up there with Jesus, and he's probably entertaining everybody up there.
I would well imagine. Now, there was a reference to a guitar. I don't want to give this away. Now, if you're talking that same instrument, I'll leave it alone.
No, I'm not. I know what you're talking about. No,
okay.
It's a different instrument.
Tell me about that one.
The one you're talking about is one that was given to me by my parents. My dad built it, and it's a guitar made out of a 1969 Thunderbird muffler. It's a car muffler. And I play it every day in my show in Branson, and I'm still playing the original one. Now, I got to tell you, there's some replicas of that muffler guitar around Branson. One is in Ripley's, believe it or not, museum. The other one is at the Ralph Foster Museum out by the college. So
Right.
There's replicas of it, but I'm still playing the original one every day in my show. It's called the Mufftar.
Well, Doug, you're having a blast. I can see why the fans want to come back, and they're in a hurry to get back to see you in Branson, and I know you are anxious to see them too. I hope the rest of this season goes well for you and that your family stays safe and you stay safe.
Well, I really appreciate that, Doug. I really do, and I've really enjoyed this conversation and being on your show here.
I appreciate that, Doug. Tell your family hi for us.
I will. God bless.
Same to you. You take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your